Queen were in Montreux, I think, recording Hot Space, and we were on tour opening for Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, and this guy pops his head round our dressing room door and says, "Hello, I'm Brian from Queen." And we're like, having bought his records for the previous 7 or 8 years, like, no shit. You know? Hi, it's Joe
and Phil,
and we're going to be going through some of our most iconic Def Leppard moments.
And this is our first concert since November 2019. It is nice to be back with some people.
One day I bumped into Pete Willis on the way home from work, and he said he was putting a band together, and I just jumped in when he said he was. I said, I'll give it a go. And they saw my awesome record collection, and I was tall, and I got the gig. We didn't have hardly any gear. We just had this idea of a band. I mean, talk about little acorns. If I'd have missed a bus home that night, I wouldn't have seen Pete Willis, and then I wouldn't be sat here. Get Your Rocks Off was a Pete Willis riff that he actually stole. Well, half the riff belonged to another guitarist, but we all borrow, especially when you're 17 years old. I'm just left with coming up with melodies and lyrics for it, so I just started writing, basing everything that I knew on everything I'd bought or heard. The naivety is what carries it across, really. It was just a bunch of young kids having a go at something that their heroes had done 10 years previously. Now it's our turn.
Pete Willis wasn't doing great, and Joe says to me, "Do you want to come down and play some solos, some lead guitar on the new album?" I'm like, "Yeah, I knew the guys." So I was just helping a buddy out. But what was really interesting, my first gig with the band was the Marquee Club in London, which is about the same size as this, actually. When Pyromania exploded, it was definitely pinch yourself moment. We still had that mindset, that mentality. We were just playing here, but it was like all over MTV. We're playing, arenas, selling them out. And we actually never stopped from that moment on. And I wasn't asked to join the band. We were just out and on tour.
I think we asked him 10 years ago, "Okay, do you want to join the band?" Thank God he said yes.
And here we are.
September 83, we were playing the LA Forum, and we had a message that Brian May wanted to come down, and we were like, "Okay, we'll sort him out a pass." He says, "No, he wants to come and play with you." We're like, oh wow, this is, again, this guy's been an enormous part of an enormous band with an enormous influence on us. So he brings his gear down and sets it up on stage, and we were stood out at the mixing desk watching this iconic guitarist on our stage start playing the riff to Photograph. And that was like, wow, okay, I think we've kind of arrived. Yeah. We hadn't made it, but we'd arrived, And we've been friends ever since. Yeah, when Photograph was voted the most popular video on MTV, even beating out Michael Jackson, was a eureka moment. You don't get paid the second your video gets played on MTV. We didn't see a penny until that tour was finished. So we're still on like $100 a week. When Michael Jackson's beating it, we were selling out arenas, but we still hadn't seen any money. So it was just weird. Desert Song started out as one of the first 2 or 3 songs that we wrote for the Hysteria sessions. When we started writing much more space age and 21st century type tunes for Hysteria, it got nudged to one side. When we came to doing the Retroactive album, it was one of the first things we said, we got to finish this song off. We needed to get these songs written and then recorded, but he didn't have any lyrics. We had 2 days off, and I locked myself away in a hotel room. And I remember coming out the next day and catching Phil before we went off to the gig going, "I've got some lyrics, I think they're really brilliant and they're going to work great." So, it was good to tidy it up and finally get it out.
What's interesting about it, it's got Steve, me and Vivian on guitar on the same track. That's a rarity in itself. Being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame by Brian May, who's one of the reasons we exist, actually.
Hello, friend Brian. I'm joining the band tonight.
I don't really know how that worked out, but then we asked him or what?
I asked him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I rang him up and said, "Here, Brian. Hello, Joe." Didn't have to clear it with anybody. No paperwork, just friends. Marvellous. You've just been hearing some iconic Def Leppard moments. Hope you enjoyed them as much as we did.
And if you enjoy it so much, you can catch us on tour.
See you out there.